Hey, what's going on, everyone? Back for another NBA video. We are looking at the four-game NBA slate for today, starting at 1:30. So let's get into it. As always, appreciate you hit the like on the video and subscribe if you have not already. Starting off at point guard, as always, James Harden is your most expensive player on the slate at 11.7. He's going to be playing without Russell Westbrook, which means he's going to have a 35+% usage rate. He's going to have the ball in his hands every time up the court. He's going to be able to get a bunch of assists. He's been good at getting rebounds in the bubble, and he's probably going to push for 40 minutes. So it's tough not to like Harden. I mean, it's not the easiest matchup against OKC, but I mean, I'm still going to do all I can to try to get Harden in my lineup. You also have like Giannis is cheaper. He's like 1,200 cheaper than Harden, and I think people might go to Giannis instead, and I don't blame them because Giannis can get the job done as well against Orlando. I mean, Orlando plays slow, but the Bucks should just roll over them. I'm not expecting Orlando to win any games in the series. So 10-5 for Giannis, that looks very nice if you do want to take that $1,200 savings from Harden and just hope that Giannis gets you at least close. And it's not like Giannis can't outscore Harden, so I like Giannis, Harden, and Davis as my spend ups today. Not looking at LeBron really today. I think the matchup for Anthony Davis is a lot better. Portland is going to be missing Zach Collins, so whoever they start against Davis, it's going to be tough. They could put Nurkic on him, but then Nurkic is going to get into foul trouble. They could put Wendy Gabriel on him, but Gabriel's not going to play too many minutes. So if they have Carmelo Anthony on Davis, I mean, Davis has crushed Portland this year, averaging 61 fantasy points. It should be more of the same if that is the case. And Lillard looks fine, but if I am going to anybody above 11,000, it's going to be for James Harden. So those are just the spend ups to consider. There's plenty of value plays today that stick out. In the mid range, you have Chris Paul at 77 against Houston, his former team revenge spot. He looks fine. You have Bledsoe at just 5,400. That looks really nice. If you want to at least get a piece of Milwaukee, Bledsoe should push for over 30 minutes now, and the matchup is fine against Orlando. It's going to be matched up against like Fultz and Fournier. Nobody that really scares me against Bledsoe, and Bledsoe's really good defender. He can rack up the blocks, or especially the steals. And then for some of the value plays, you have Fultz at 4,200. Fultz is now starting, so that's going to mean he's probably going to see like maybe like 25 to 28 minutes, depending on Gordon news. Gordon's out, I could see him play like 28, maybe 30, depending on how well he's playing. And at just 4,200 against Milwaukee, he's gonna whenever he plays and gets minutes, yeah, at least he's aggressive. He's not like a great shooter or anything like that, but he can get you some assists and get you some rebounds. And this is 4,200. There's a couple of value plays that stick out, and he's definitely one of them. And the other is Goran Dragic. So Dragic played really well in the bubble, and now he has gotten promoted into the starting lineup. Just came out yesterday that Kendrick Nunn is coming off the bench. So 4,400 for Dragic starting. It's just going to be great. It's going to be tough to pass up. Going to be my favorite value play on the slate. And we know that he can drop like 35 plus fantasy points and be like a must play if that does happen. So point guard goes Goran Dragic. Shooting guard, we have James Harden at 11.7. He looks like the best shooting guard option. Nobody is even close to him in terms of projection. Go with James Harden as shooting guard. You could look at Jimmy Butler at 76 as a really cheap option, as like a nice value option. Go even cheaper here below like 55 or below 6,000. You have Eric Gordon who's back. Going to be starting. I think he can probably get you like 30 minutes today. He played 20 and 23. I haven't seen anything that he will be on a minutes limit, so I'm not really expecting that. And without Westbrook, they're going to need his scoring at least and some of his ball handling. So I like Gordon. Gary Trent looks pretty fine as well today. 52 is a little bit kind of price where he should be. Not getting a bargain on him, but Zach Collins is out for this one, so you should see Gary Trent probably start. Or even if he doesn't start, he's going to push for 35. He's definitely going to be in the closing lineup, and he's going to push for 35, 38 minutes today. And then you have Terrence Ross, who's back, who's only 4,500. He looks like a really good option in the 4K range. Especially if Gordon misses, they're going to need some more scoring. And even if Gordon is in, I mean, he's probably going to close over like James Ennis. So Terrence Ross will probably get you like high 20s, low 30s in minutes and 4,500. He can fill it up if his shot's falling. He can drop like multiple threes and put out like 35 plus fantasy points. So those are just some of the options at shooting guard besides Harden, but I am going to try to get Harden in there because I could see Harden drop like 70 plus, 80 plus fantasy points today. Small forward, we have LeBron at 11 or 10-7 against Portland. I think he looks fine, but I would go to Davis instead. I just think the matchup is better for Davis, just because Portland is going to struggle to defend Davis at the 4 when they play McGee and Dwight Howard alongside Davis. And then other options, you have Jimmy Butler at 76. I'd play Butler over TJ Warren today. You have Middleton at 73. It's a decent price, but I'd rather go to Bledsoe. And then you have Carmelo at 58. He's going to see a bunch of minutes today. It's against the Lakers, so it's going to be some kind of rivalry, I would say. And he's kind of struggled against Los Angeles. They're good defensively, but he can he's going to shoot, and if his shot's falling, he's going to, like a lot of players, going to make value, but he's also been very good at getting rebounds and not just being scoring dependent. Then you have below $5,000, you have Ross again. You can play at small forward if you want. And then there's nobody else that I really think looks great as a value play at small forward. So I think the cheapest I'd probably go is Terrence Ross. And then I like Gary Trent, Gordon. Still got a bunch of options at small forward. Power forward, you have Davis at 10-4. Looks really fine. I mean, I think him or Giannis, you could kind of flip a coin for. Giannis might get more love just because he is just $100 more expensive. I really think Davis could have a very good game. He's going to see, like, probably get you 38 plus minutes tonight. And, I mean, Portland's going to really struggle to defend him. Nurkic is 91. He looks fine, but it's going to be tough to pay up for everybody. I would still probably lean to Davis over Nurkic. Covington looks decent at 65. He's just been awful at shooting threes, and that's all he does. Like, 25% from 3, 37%, 0 of 6, 20%. On the season, he's only shooting 33%. So you're going to really need him to get rebounds and blocks and steals if his shot's not falling. Then you have more cheap options like Jay Crowder looks really good at just 3,900. Expect him to start once again, and he's been seeing decent minutes, like high 20s in the bubble. Maybe could push for low 30s, depending on if he's shooting the ball well. And 3,900, that's just like super cheap. He hasn't been that cheap. In the bubble, he was like 45 to 4,700. So we're getting just a big price drop all of a sudden. And the matchup is fine against Indiana. It's not like both teams are kind of similar. Both are good defensively, but I mean, on the season, if they've played Indiana, I mean, Crowder is just if his shot's falling, he shot 5 of 8 and 4 of 6 in the earlier meeting and put up 37 fantasy points. They can definitely pay off a $3,900 salary. Now, over at center, have Davis at 10-4. You have Nurkic at 91. Vooch would be a little bit more appealing if Gordon sits. And for nobody really cheap that sticks out at center, because Jeff Green is up to 5,200, so I'm not really interested in him at all on DraftKings. But I'm going to go with Anthony Davis at 10-4. Over at guard, another value play is Markelle Fultz. Just 4,200 starting. It's going to be tough not to like him, at least just because there's a couple of value plays, and then after the couple of value plays, it really dies off. So Fultz at his price point looks like a guy that can at least drop at minimum probably like 5 to 6x, and upside is definitely there for him to maybe get you like 7, 8x. And then last but not least, Eric Bledsoe is 5,400. I like him a ton. Lots of good guard options that are pretty cheap, like Bledsoe. 54, it looks really nice. He does a little bit of everything. Good at getting you a decent amount of scoring, gets you rebounds, assists, steals. Really good defender. If he's on Fultz, Fultz can turn the ball over sometimes. And Bledsoe looks like on the season he's averaging 35, which would be right around 7x at this price point. I'll gladly take like 7x from Bledsoe today. So that's kind of it for the DraftKings side. Those are the 6 that really stick out today. So thank you for watching, and let's go over to the FanDuel side. Okay, over on FanDuel at point guard, you have a couple of guys in the 5K range that look appealing, but at the top, Damian Lillard, if you want to go all the way up there, I will not fault you because we've seen what Lillard can do in the bubble. Chris Paul at 72 looks pretty fine as well. And then I'm really looking at Bledsoe at 58. I think he looks great. Goran Dragic 57 looks great. I I like them a little bit more than Fultz, but you could go with Fultz if you want. And then position kind of dies off. If you want to go with the Aaron Holiday route again, you can, but that was a one-time experience for me. I think I will probably go with Bledsoe as the guy that looks really good, especially on FanDuel where you get extra points for blocks and steals, and Bledsoe is really good at racking up steals, so I think he looks fine at point guard. Shooting guard, I love James Harden at 11.5. Shooting guard, once again, is loaded with good plays. You have Harden, Butler, McCollum, Middleton, SGA, Oladipo. Ton of good guys to pay up for. Still going to be Harden to pay up for me. And then you have a bunch of value as well with Gary Trent at just 4,500. You have Duncan Robinson at 43. So you could go there if you want, but I am going to go with James Harden again at 11.5. Just tough not to like him without Russell Westbrook. And at 11.5 on FanDuel, like raw points matter a lot, so I could see him drop like 70. If he goes for 70 and you don't have him, it's going to be sad. Small forward, we have Giannis at 11,000. Then you have LeBron. I'd go Giannis over LeBron today. Then you have TJ Warren, and then you have a bunch of value. So if you want to pay up for one of these studs, you definitely can. You also have a bunch of other cheap options like Carmelo at 54, Eric Gordon at just 45, Fournier at just 53, Crowder at just 41, and House at 4,000. So lots of other plays you could look at if you don't want to pay all the way up at this position. I think Gordon looks decent at his price point at 4,500. He can score. They're going to need his scoring, and if he's not on any limit, then I could expect like 30 plus minutes out of him. And we've seen, I mean, he's been bad over the past couple years, but sometimes when he's given the opportunity, he can pay off. And I think at 4,500, he could definitely be a good option. Then at power forward, you have Love Anthony Davis once again at 10,000. You have Covington at 7K. There's not a ton of options at power forward. There's like a couple that look decent. That's Davis, Adebayo, Covington, and then like Jeff Green. So nobody that, and then Gordon if he's in. Obviously, you could play him just because the position is pretty weak. I think I would probably lean to like the Davis just because small forward you at least have some other cheap options that can go for like 7, 8x at power forward. If you're not paying all the way up for Davis and he goes nuts, you're gonna need it's gonna be impossible to have a good game because he's gonna be popular. And then last but not least at center, I like Nurkic a lot at 8,400 on FanDuel. That price tag looks really nice. It's either Nurkic or Vucevic for me. I don't know if I'm gonna go super cheap, but I think I'll just lean to Jusuf Nurkic at 8,400. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and good luck today.